The recent massive attack launched by Hamas against Israel sent shockwaves around the world. But mounting evidence suggests this may have been an elaborate trap set by Israeli intelligence in coordination with the CIA and MI6 to lure Hamas into a vulnerable position. Though Hamas portrayed its incursion as a surprise victory, many experts believe the group was allowed to breach Israel's borders as part of a calculated gambit by Israeli agencies. The aim: to legitimize an Israeli takeover of Gaza after 15 years. In this video, we analyze how Hamas seemingly fell right into a trap set by Israel with American and British help. The timing and scale of the Hamas attack strongly indicate the militant group was manipulated every step of the way. Let's examine the clues that show how Hamas walked blindly into a deception planned long in advance by Israeli forces hungry to reoccupy Gaza. Suspicious timing of attack. The timing of Hamas' offensive has raised many questions. Why did they choose a major Jewish holiday for the attack when Israel's guard was down? Israel was celebrating Sukkot when the missiles began raining down. The holiday left Israel underprepared. Notably, the Hamas attack came just 2 days after the CIA director made a surprise visit to Israel to discuss regional security. Most experts believe such a massive operation would have taken Hamas weeks or months to plan. The perfectly timed execution points to manipulation by Israeli intelligence. Hamas displayed no caution about the oddly convenient timing that benefited Israel. This hints they were following a script devised from outside. Unprecedented scale of incursion. The scale of Hamas' invasion across Israel's borders was unprecedented and delivered shock value. But it came at massive cost to Hamas. Up to 1,000 fighters took part in the multi-pronged offensive. Israel killed many militants, but allowed the rest to gain ground. Hamas has never shown the capacity, planning, or assets to mount such a large, coordinated attack on its own before. The costly offensive was also out of character for the group's usual limited border skirmishes. Invading Israel en masse was an inexplicable strategic blunder that ran counter to Hamas' interests, unless it was part of a trap. Israel's feigned surprise. Israeli officials reacted with apparently genuine shock when the missiles started raining down. But there are clues this was strategic play acting. The attack supposedly caught Israel's renowned intelligence completely off guard. But their swift and devastating response showed extensive prior readiness. Within hours, Israel had killed Hamas' second-in-command Mohammed Deif in a surgical airstrike. Evidence of precise intelligence. With full details on Hamas' military assets and personnel, it is highly improbable Israel did not know an attack was brewing. Their surprise does not add up. Rapid escalation by Israel. While caught seemingly unawares, Israel ramped up their military response with record speed and severity. Heavy airstrikes had leveled Gaza's infrastructure within 24 hours. Israeli officials soon declared all-out war on Hamas. The ruthless escalation, with scant regard for civilian deaths, has allowed Israel to seize the global narrative as the wounded victim strikes back. This rapid escalation reeks of a premeditated plan to react harshly to a surprise attack and rally the world behind Israel's response. Reoccupying Gaza. Israel's actions have paved the way for it to reoccupy Gaza after withdrawing 15 years ago. Hamas' attack provides the perfect justification. Israel has made moves to establish a security zone in Gaza, resume targeted assassinations of Hamas leaders, and hit infrastructure enabling governance. Without basic amenities like power or clean water due to Israeli bombing, Gaza residents suffer, turning sentiment against Hamas after the disastrous offensive. Israel is poised to retake control of the Strip to prevent further terrorism. Hamas has given them the excuse they waited years for. Coordinated trap. Intelligence experts have noted the meticulous coordination required for Hamas to have mounted this attack on its own is beyond its capabilities. The sophistication points to behind-the-scenes architects who set the stage, then coaxed Hamas into initiating the incursion. Israel, America, and Britain have the region's most formidable intelligence networks. Working together, they could easily orchestrate Hamas' downfall. With so much to gain strategically from this unprovoked attack, Israel clearly did the trap that Hamas willingly entered. Global support for Israel. In a masterstroke, Israel has garnered global sympathy and support by framing itself as the victim of an unprompted onslaught. Western nations have backed Israel's retaliation against Hamas as justified self-defense after the surprise attacks. Few have condemned the lopsided violence or civilian deaths in Gaza, accepting Hamas as the antagonizer. This PR victory was only possible by engineering an offensive so reckless that the world overlooks Israel's response. Botched Hamas operation. For all its scale and bravado, Hamas' invasion of Israel was a tactical disaster from the start, almost like it was designed to fail. The militants achieved no concrete objectives like capturing territory, freeing prisoners, or winning concessions. They gained nothing besides devastation for Gaza. The offensive handed Israel an excuse to unleash massive retaliation that set back Hamas for years. Without extenuating circumstances, launching such a lopsided war makes no sense. Hamas played its role to perfection in a staged production orchestrated in Tel Aviv more than Gaza. Conclusion. By all indications, Hamas took the bait and fulfilled Israel's plan by launching an attack tailor-made to justify Israel retaking Gaza militarily. Their gamble backfired spectacularly, handing Israel a public relations coup while getting hundreds of militants killed. It defies logic for Hamas to have independently decided on such a reckless misadventure with minimal gains and maximum pain. The most plausible explanation is cunning manipulation by Israel, backed by American and British intelligence. The tragic outcome of this war was likely forged not in Hamas' war rooms, but in the clandestine meeting chambers of Israeli intelligence officers plotting the perfect bait to entice gullible Hamas sympathizers into their long-laid trap.